In 2005, I learned by email that my fourth grader had not done his math homework in 4 months. And being a mom who keeps my cool even when the stakes are high, I screamed at him. Good news, he didn't flunk fourth grade, and I learned a lot from that experience. What if it's true that the art of bringing leadership home is about keeping our cool and our hearts even when the stakes are high? What does that actually mean in practice? Preview. It means choosing love over fear, truth over hiding, and fierce ownership over blame. And bringing leadership home, love, truth, and fierce ownership are anything but soft skills for soft results. At SourceGas, this approach produced exceptional results, a 40% increase in EBITDA in 2 years. You see, prior to creating a culture of fierce ownership in this company, the truth was that it was an ordinary company with weak links in their chain, and that meant that when high-stakes projects were on the line, the chain broke. But actually, exceptional leadership keeps the chain strong throughout the organization. High-performing cultures bring leadership home at every level, because in truth, culture drives results. At SourceGas, these results we're talking about resulted in a $600 million increase in sale price of the company in just 2.5 years. The key is having a roadmap that gets them from stuck, frustrated, shut down, to flow. Keeping your cool when the stakes are high doesn't mean you don't get upset. It just means you know how to navigate it from fierce ownership when you do. We don't get high fives and engaged collaboration in meetings when someone in the gang is way below the line. But when teams are communicating well, aligned, everyone's taking responsibility, which is another word for ownership, the upside is that everyone on the team feels excited to be there and as if their work makes a difference. So the birthplace of exceptional leadership really is fierce ownership. That means, as a leader, choosing fierce ownership over blame. And this kind of culture is possible in all organizations. My 8th grader had an English essay due, and the night before he told me that he couldn't write his essay because the writing style they teach in his school is stupid, he said. In that moment, he chose blame over fierce ownership, sort of like this guy. Y'all have seen that face at work and in the mirror, right? In order to do that, we have to know what we're owning. This means being willing to surface the truth of what is driving behavior. Exceptional leaders choose truth over hiding. My son finally admitted he was stuck about this essay because he didn't know how to write the way they were teaching it at school. When hiding takes root in an organization, it looks like silence. It can look like silence. Ever been in a leadership team meeting and you just know that Jim isn't telling the group what he really thinks? It can also look like chaos. At one company I worked with, the audit department could never get the same numbers in their inventory of assets 2 weeks in a row. This is because their inventory systems were crap, and the CEO had his head in the sand about it. He didn't want to know that it was crap, because if he knew it was crap, he'd have to fix it. My son didn't want to admit that he didn't know how to write the way they were teaching it at school, because he didn't want to feel inadequate. The secret to choosing truth over hiding is first acknowledging that there's hiding in the first place, and then remember your commitment to fierce ownership, and choose to look at what is really true. This might take some practice. If chaos at your desk or in your systems or at home with your schedule is the name of the game, then consider being willing to declutter and get at the truth of what's really going on. From this sense of order comes a sense of mastery, and from that we can truly own our actions and our results. If you haven't sorted it out yet, let me just say this applies in your personal world as well as in your professional one. Leaders lead everywhere they are, even when they are alone. Finally, what's necessary in order to tell the truth? Well, the reason people don't and why blame and hiding happen is because we get stuck in fear. And fear looks like lots of things. We fear failure, being bullied, being found out for the fraud that most of us think we really are at some level. We fear success even, and the key is to choose love over fear, shining the light of love, of mission, of our own integrity, our honor, the people in our lives, and of ourselves allows us to release fear enough to stay above the line. Love allows truth, and truth is required to take fierce ownership. And fierce ownership is the birthplace